One second, y'all. Groundbreaker, what's going on? Let me know if y'all can hear me, if everything is coming in okay, if the music is coming in too loud. See what's going on here. All right, cool. Yeah, man, I'm just kind of. How's your week going? Make sure everybody's good. I'm just trying to figured I would hop on stream real quick. I gotta get a VM. I gotta get a VM up and running for something else that I got later on this week, and it also plays into. Oh, I'm over here talking. There we go. Yeah, it also plays into what I'm got going on later on Saturday with our virtual workshop. Actually, it's going to be virtual and in person. So um, that's actually interesting that it's not coming up. Hold on one second. Okay, so we got it. We got it there. All right, cool. Let's see. All right, we're gonna do this. Got to change up some stuff on the fly. So yeah, like I said, just gonna set up a Kali Linux machine, make sure it's up and running, and make sure we're good to go. I got something I gotta do tomorrow, so I want to make sure that we're good. All right, so we're just gonna change our display, and now voila. Let's move some stuff over. Cool. All right, we should be good. There shouldn't be. Yep, we should be good. All right. All right, so start from the top. Welcome everybody. I am Davin Jackson, Djax. I go by a ton of different names. We are streaming live from Alpha Esports and Technology, which is my esports gaming and technology center here in Suwanee, Georgia. And we are streaming right now. I believe we are streaming on YouTube. We are on Twitch. Oh, so we are not on Twitch. We are not on Twitch because Twitch doesn't allow multi-streaming. So we are on YouTube, we are on Facebook, we are on LinkedIn, and we are on YouTube again. Um, I meant to stream on Trovo. I'm trying out Trovo for another streaming platform. I know some people talking about going to Kick and everything like that. I haven't made a decision on whether or not I'm going to jump to Kick. Actually, if there's anybody here who is on Kick, let me know in the chat how you like it. What are the pros and cons with Kick versus Twitch and YouTube? And yeah, just kind of, fill me in on what's going on with that. So for those who are interested, I'm gonna put this in the chat right now. I'm gonna put the link for the ethical hacking workshop that we're doing on Saturday. So if you're interested, you can register there. We are, like I said, we're gearing up for that. So I gotta make another VM. I gotta make another VM on top of this VM when we get ready. But like I said, if you have registered for the class already and you are watching, I guess you're gonna get a little spoiler of some of the stuff that we're gonna be doing in the during the class. But what we're gonna do here is we're going to first and foremost update our Kali Linux image, and then we are going to go ahead and we're going to change our default SSH keys, and last but not least, we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a different user so that this way we're not using our root user. So I'll turn down the my fault. All right, so we turned the music down a little bit. Like I said, I'm still for those who don't know, like I said, we're streaming out of my center. I have another streaming setup back at home that I call the Wolf Den. I'm trying to get as much as I can over here to emulate what I have over there. So kind of give me some time as I work through the kinks, because I have a whole bunch over there. I got stream decks and different music piped through different things. So I'm getting everything slowly but surely. Like I said, working full time, then doing the esports stuff and the gaming thing. So we are, but we're getting there. We're getting there. So all right, so we're gonna hop right into it. So first, when you first download Kali from Kali.org, and you make your VM, and if it seems like I'm being very vague, that's because I kind of am, since we're gonna be touching on all of this later on this week. But when you first create your Kali VM, you want to make sure that you're setting it up and you have everything up and running before you start doing anything, whether it's real world pen testing or even if you're getting ready to do some type of CTF or something. So when you first download Kali, Kali by default has a username of Kali and Kali, and you want to use that to log in. And typically what I do is I actually have a script. Let me see if I'm not, it's probably not on this machine. But typically I have a script that I run that kind of automates this whole process for me, because automation is key. But I'm gonna go through the process manually right now, because again, that's something that we'll probably get into a little bit later. All right, so when we first get Kali out, basically out the box or just set up, you see that the screen is kind of small. You're gonna have to update that and everything. And typically you could do that with a sudo app get. Actually, we'll do -y for update and. I'll just do sudo again. Sudo app get update. So quick rundown of what I'm doing here. Basically, I'm telling Kali Linux that I want it to do a update and then upgrade of the system. See if any changes have been made since this image was saved, and you want to make sure that everything is up to date before you get started. So sudo, when you first see the sudo command, sudo is basically saying you want to act as a super user or as administrative level user. This is a safeguard that Kali or a lot of Linux images have to make sure that you're not making any changes that you don't want to change without having the proper permission. So like I said, it's almost like it's a safeguard. It's like when you do Windows and the user access control thing pops up and says, hey, are you sure? Or do you need an admin level password to move forward? That's essentially what we're doing here with Kali. So when we go ahead and we run apt-get update, which you see right here. Oh, jeez, my mouse is whatever. So when you see apt-get update, the command updates the list of available packages that you have in Kali Linux and their what's the word I'm looking for? It updates the packages, the software packages in their versions. So when you complete that, so you want to run that first, and then you run apt-get upgrade. When you run apt-get upgrade, that installs any newer versions of packages, and then it goes in. But you want to make sure you run the update first. You want to run update then upgrade. So when you run that, when you run the upgrade, it will install it, and then it'll remove the packages after they're done installing. And then I'm making sure I'm saying this right. Yeah, I'm saying that right. So you want to make sure you run update and then upgrade, and then you could also run dist upgrade for distribution, but it essentially does the same thing as the apt-get upgrade. If you see me veering over here, that's because I am checking our chats. Mr. Amazing, what's going on? I am just logging on for a second. I want to install some changes to a Kali Linux image that I have to get ready for an assessment. So I'm gonna go ahead and just run these right now. I was explaining earlier that I typically have a script that goes through the process of everything that I'm gonna do, but I figured, you know what? Why not do it and make some content, and let's have a quick chat while we're doing it. Oh, what's going on, Rick? So this is some of the stuff that you would want to do when you're working with Kali Linux, especially when you're first setting it up for the very first time. You want to run your updates and then your upgrades to make sure that everything is up to date before you go ahead and start installing tools or what have you. So while it's doing that, I'm debating whether or not I want to. Let's open up another terminal. I want to check to see if there are some tools on here already installed. Okay, so I see that. Okay, so Derb is on here, but GoBuster is not. All right. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm just trying to see how do I prevent the terminal from automatically opening once I log into Kali? What do you mean automatically opening? Because my terminal doesn't automatically open. My command prompt, I have to actually click it. Actually, when I reboot it, I'm gonna double check. But from what I remember, mine didn't do that. You log in with your username and your credentials, and you just kind of get met with the main screen. Do I mask the IP on my virtual machine? Yes, if I'm using it in a live environment. Other than that, no, because if I'm doing it for like training or VMs or CTFs, I'm on a NATed network. But if I'm doing a live stuff, I'll mask the IP. I'll spoof the MAC addresses. There's a few safeguards that I have. That I put in place when I do it, and then I also have a Kali machine that is a clean install. There's always something going on over here, but yeah, I also have a Kali image, or actually I don't think it's Kali, it's Parrot. I think Parrot is running on my laptop now, but I have a laptop that actually is a build, but that's mine, and I don't use my personal stuff for work. So once I log into Kali, the terminal opens twice for me. Yeah, I don't know why that's happening. I have to double check that. Hopefully it's not getting in the way of anything. So other than that, how's everybody's Tuesday? Again, we are slowly getting to another Friday. Again, for me, it's just been it's like one long day, man. Like I get up early in the morning, do what I gotta do, exercise, see my kids off to school, you know, hang out with the wife for a little bit, log into work, do my first set of meetings, and then then I head over here for the afternoon to open up the center, get that up and running. If I have any events going on, I'm setting up for that, and then we just kind of get things moving. So do I work from home? Yes, I do travel sometimes, but for the most part I do work mainly from home. So like I said, I work out of my home office, and then like I said, maybe around in early afternoon, so maybe a little after lunchtime, I make my way over to my center to get open for the afternoon. You know, this way as kids are getting out of school, they come by and hang out, game for a little bit. We have a dance studio a couple doors down, so while it says my audio is too low and the music is too high. Really? Still. Okay, I'm just gonna kill the music. Alright. So yeah, so like I said, I head over to, so while I'm here, you know, like I said, there's a dance studio, so they got some dance classes. So while, you know, parents or like other kids are waiting for their siblings or loved ones or friends to get out of dance, they'll come over here and hang out for a little bit. So, you know, I let them game over here at a discounted rate for a little while. And then I have a bunch of different events going on. So, like, for example, I have I have Twitch streamers who come through during the week and they stream out of here. I have another one coming this Thursday, so we'll be streaming live out of the center while he's doing Diablo 4 and Overwatch. And then, like I said, I'm gearing up for some more esports leagues. So right now we're only doing Fortnite, but we're going to start doing Rainbow Six, Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, Rocket League. I'm missing one. Apex isn't until later. Valorant isn't until Overwatch. So we're gonna start gearing up for those different leagues as well. Do I play Star Citizen? I have not gotten into Star Citizen. I want to. Wait, that's the one that just is that? What's Star Citizen? Let me make sure that we're talking about the game. No, I'm talking about Starfield. No, I haven't played Star Citizen. Well, let's see. While we're doing that, let's see what we're seeing here. Star Citizen. Oh, this looks cool. Is it like a... Is it like a strategy type game? Let me see if there's some video on it. Well, what are the requirements? Oh yeah, that's nothing. Starfield sucks. Why? I've heard. Like I said, I've heard mixed things about Starfield. I played like the first level, and but I've just been so busy. I haven't been able to see to do anything further. Let's see what Star Citizen is. Okay, I'm not doing 26 minutes.
Mode. The action has never been as close.
Oh. Here, let me put it on.
With the aim now on polish,
open world space exploration.
Self-sufficient strike teams.
You
so
have my attention.
On individual areas to deliver the best experience.
almost like Elite Dangerous with all the meta universe features. Okay.
This allows us to bring all disciplines together with a unified vision of enhanced.
Come back. Always trips me
Oh,
out
man,
to see
this is
terraforming
beautiful.
setups like this. Web Tribe explaining how atmosphere processors work really shows how far we've come.
All right. Let's not get sidetracked. Well, actually, we're still good. We're still good. Okay, cool. All right. So we go back now. So yeah, great game with friends. It seems I was gonna say that it's multiplayer and stuff like that. So now, do you can build your own colonies or your own was it like armies or bases or anything like that? You could do missions together. I might have to check that out. But yeah, like I said, Rocket League. I see someone that you asked about Rocket League too. Yeah, we're gonna be doing some Rocket League out of here. Actually, I'm looking to do some, probably do like a hybrid league, doing some in-person stuff here as well as online. But there's gonna be some specific requirements if you're gonna join online. This way, we're making sure that there isn't any lagging or any nonsense like that. But yeah, we were doing I was doing a live stream on Instagram yesterday, and a bunch of people were sending me messages in my DMs asking about having an online league. And like I said, online league is cool, but it's just when you start running into certain issues with internet connection and stuff like that. All the machines here are hardwired into the Ethernet, and I'm running over a gig internet, so I would prefer if we could do it here. But like I said, we're probably going to get to the online league, especially, and I'm actually getting a lot of requests from adults. So I mean, I get some requests from kids right now with the first semester coming to an end and midterms and all of that. You got some kids who aren't able to participate right now because they got to get their grades up, and I totally understand that. As a matter of fact, I treat the esports stuff just like any other sport. So if you're playing ball or any type of sport, if your grades aren't up to par, you're supposed to get benched. You're not supposed to play. So that's kind of the same approach I treat with my esport leagues. So if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you can take part in the strategy sessions and all the other stuff that we do, but you can't play, especially in like our Fortnite league where they're kind of competing against each other right now for prizes at the end of the season. So it sucks to be them at that moment because they're not able to tally up any scores for that week, and you move over to the next week, and now you're down significantly. So it's a good incentive to make sure that kids are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and that they follow instructions, and that they're being respectful at school and at home. So all right, so while we're waiting for this stuff to run, we're going to go ahead and we are going to change the default SSH keys. Now, a lot of people ask why I go ahead and change the default SSH keys, and honestly, the answer, okay, so are most of your esports students geeks, or is it both? No, it's actually both. I would not honestly consider any of them to be your typical quote-unquote geeks or nerds. I have kids from all walks of life who enjoy it. They already play it at home or play it online, and now it's just kind of adding an extra element to it because now they're able to compete. So no, I wouldn't say. I think that's a stereotype, and rightfully so, because back in the day, a lot of the computer gamers were geeks or nerds. I mean, I would consider myself to be one of those as well, but back in the day, but I didn't fit the stereotypical image of a geek or nerd. But yeah, the esports, no, a lot of the esports students, and I'm not I'm not saying it just to say it. Like I said, I thought about it. I'm like, no. I mean, a lot of them are just regular kids. Most of them are pretty much all of them are just regular kids. So like I said, yeah, I wouldn't say they're nerds or stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. I've met some, especially when you start getting into some of the games where there's like a lot of micromanaging and stuff like that, like League of Legends and things like that. I've met some, but they're not. Like I said, I don't have any here at my center. Okay, so while we're doing that, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and explain why we're changing SSH keys. So when you first download and install Kali Linux, you're downloading an image, right? The image comes with SSH keys that allow you to authenticate to boxes without having to use a password. However, when you install that image, that is an image that was uploaded from the Kali Linux team, and it's available to the public. So everybody who downloads that image also has those same keys. Now, am I being overly cautious? Probably, but I've seen crazier things. So if you have someone who knows these keys or has these keys, and they were to conduct some type of person in the middle attack on an SSH session, they could essentially gain access. So you want to make sure you go ahead and change those SSH keys. So again, like I said, am I being overly cautious? More than likely. But I want to change them anyway. So what we'll do is we will go into we'll hit, I need to actually be in here. So okay. Sorry, I thought someone was coming in. So we're going to go into our CD etc SSH directory, and then we're going to hit ls. And you'll see all of these keys here that says SSH_host, and then you see the DSA, the public keys, the RSA keys. You want to go ahead and you want to get rid of all of those. So what we're going to go ahead and do, let me see, who's this commenting? Yes, SSH keys are not secured. So what we're going to do first, just to be on the safe side, is we are going to do sudo, and we're going to make a directory, and we're going to call it old keys, right? And then we're going to put in our password. So now if we hit ls again, we should have our folder called old keys. And now we are going to sudo. So again, we're giving it permission, and we're going to sudo move SSH host, and then we're going to hit this wildcard so that anything that has SSH host, no matter what comes after it, we're going to move it into old keys. So now if you hit ls again, you'll see there's nothing there. But if we say ls and we're telling it to look into the old keys folder, you'll see all of those files are there. So again, y'all still there? Looks like I might have froze up for a second. So I just want to make sure that there's no delay or anything like that. All right. So after we do that, we're gonna go sudo, and we're gonna go dpackage. What is that? Okay, so you can't see me. Is it possible to capture an SSH key on Wireshark? Well, no, Wireshark is... You know what? I'm gonna have to double check that one. Wireshark catches network packets, so unless the SSH key is being transmitted in a network packet? I'm gonna have to double check. I don't want to give the wrong answer, and that's a good question. I doubt it, but I don't want to say yes and no and then give you the wrong answer. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just say I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm okay with saying I don't know. All right, so anyway, we're gonna go package, and we're gonna say reconfigure, and then we are doing OpenSSH server. All right. So now it's gonna just take some time to do all of that. All right, so now after it's done, you hit LS again, and now you see we have some new keys. So now, again, am I being overly cautious? Possibly. But what I like to do after that is I go MD5 sum. I just did that. Okay, so I do MD5 sum, SSH, host. And now we are gonna, oh, I'm sorry, you're gonna tell me you can't do that. I have to do sudo first. So now we get those hashes to make sure that we're good, and then we go ahead and do MD5 sum old keys. Same thing, SSH host, wildcard. And now you just go ahead and you just compare and contrast. So again, am I being overly cautious? More than likely, but none of these match, so we're good. And just so you know, I will probably change them again after we're done with this stream because I'm just paranoid like that. So, Brother McNeil, this is not a. It is and it isn't. So we're not making a lab per se. The lab we're going to do a lab on Saturday for my ethical hacking workshop that I'll be teaching. I'm teaching an intro to ethical hacking workshop Saturday. I actually put the link in the chat again. So we're doing we're gonna do like a 3 or 4 hour workshop Saturday where we're gonna go through doing a lab and then learning the basics of penetration testing, and we're gonna walk through a couple machines using, some of the tools and techniques that you would learn with Kali Linux and penetration testing. So we're doing that Saturday afternoon. And yes, you will be there. Okay, are you going to be in? Are you one of the? You're doing it virtually? So basically, what I'm doing now is I got asked to set up a Kali Linux image for somebody. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just do that. So I figured while I'm waiting to do all of this, I might as well go on live and do some Q&A while I'm at it. So what we just did so far is we updated and upgraded Kali Linux, and then I just changed the default SSH keys that come with the Kali Linux image, because when you download that image from Kali.org, everybody has the same set of keys. So you want to make sure you have different keys. All right, so now that we did that, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to clear out. And then the last thing we're going to do is we are going to create a new user. So the reason why you want to create a new user is because, again, you don't want everybody knowing that there's a default user. So like I said, some people figure they don't have to do that because Kali isn't like what it used to be. When Kali first came out, the root user was just that. You didn't have to do any sudo commands or anything like that. But again, everybody knows that when you install Kali, you're greeted with a username called Kali and a password called Kali. So you want to go ahead and I'm sorry, I'm reading some messages as I'm talking. I know that's rude. But you want to go ahead and create a new user. So we're going to go ahead and sudo add user, and then I'm debating. Whatever. I'm gonna change all of this anyway. So you're gonna use. So I'm just gonna say hacker, and then the password for it. Let's go ahead and create a password. Oh, sorry, Callie, and now it's gonna ask me for a password. Okay. You don't need to worry about any of this. Sure is correct. So now we went ahead and we have a new user. And then if we want to make sure that that user is given sudo privileges, just like the Kali user we have, we're going to run sudo user mod, and then we're going to go -a, and then -g, and then we're going to say sudo again. I think I made a mistake because, no, okay, there we go. And then we'll just say hacker. So now what we just did was we said modify this user. So we're modifying the user and we're adding, so that's what the -a is. We're adding to the group sudo users hacker. So now we have this user that we called hacker, and now they have sudo permissions. Do you have to delete the default original user after you create? You don't have to delete it. If you're going to use it, in a scenario where you're going to be on site, I would delete it. Again, am I being overly cautious? More than likely. But if I know I'm going to go on site and there's a possibility that someone somehow can get access, or someone might be sitting on a network and somehow I get duped into whatever, I don't want people being able to access my stuff with default user accounts. Like, if you're going to get me, you're going to earn it. Do you need to bring a laptop for the training? Yes, please bring a laptop to the training. Please bring a machine. If you want to bring a machine and you have like a small, if you have a USB with enough space, because if you have a USB with enough space, or you have an external hard drive and you want to bring that with you, sure. But please bring a laptop with you, because I want you to be able to leave here with the lab, so that you can continue to go home and practice it and build out new machines and, import new VMs as you see fit. There's no point in using the machines here. Again, for one, they're not configured to work that way with the gaming servers and all of that I have going on. But so bring your own laptop to the training, so that this way you can build your lab, have your lab, and you're good to go. You have a desktop but no laptop. Oh, that sucks. I can convert your ticket to a virtual one, and then you can just connect virtually, so that this way you're good to go. All right. All right. So at this point, we pretty much have what I want to do done. I just want to make sure. So now, if we go ahead and then I say SU hacker. So now I am the hacker user that I just created. And then let's say I wanted to run apt-get upgrade again. It should tell me, yep. So if you look here, it says permission denied, and then it says unable to acquire the front end lock, and then it'll ask you right here, are you root? So that's because I didn't run the sudo command. So if I run the sudo command, Now it's going to ask me again, and now you see the user's name is Hacker instead of Kali. Now I'm able to run that command. So, and again, it shouldn't take too long because we've already went ahead and downloaded that. So now I can close out this terminal. And then to your point, yes, if you wanted to, you could delete that user. Now, now I need to install a couple of other tools. So now you're going to run apt get install, and then we'll just say -y for just automatic yes, because I'm going to need GoBuster. So GoBuster is a content searching tool. If you're familiar with other tool, well, yeah, it's a content tool. It's almost like a content brute forcing tool. So when you go to on an application or anything like that, and you want to browse for directories and web content, you could use a tool like GoBuster. There's another one, an older thing called Derb or Dirbuster. You could still use Dirbuster. Derb is still here. Yep. And then you want to make sure, I want to see, is SecList installed? No, SecList is not installed. So let me bring up my browser, and then I am going to search for SecList because I'm going to download it directly from the repository. I know you can do apt-y install get SecList, but I prefer going here. There should be a word list folder. Let's see. Where's the word list folder? I forgot how to get to the word list folder. That's crazy. It has been a while. Anyway, sudo, and then we'll just hit paste. So now what I'm doing is SecList is basically a repository of, make sure I can't see. Yeah, I'm doing it on git clone. Do you normally stay as root if you know you'll be using a lot of commands, or do you sudo each time? The correct answer is you're supposed to sudo each time. Again, I still have older versions of Kali Linux where you don't have to because you're given root access from jump. Actually, so I'll say it's a combination of both. It depends. I'm just accustomed to just doing sudo for everything now, unless it's definitely unless I know for sure that I don't need to. But yes, you're supposed to use it every time, you know, because again, it's supposed to be a safeguard. Yes, okay, so the word list folder. Okay, so I'll wait for this to be done. Yeah, Ty, you can do git. Yeah, no, I prefer doing git clone for SecList than doing the app install. Maybe it's just preference, but yeah. And then there are a couple other tools that I also use, but I'm not gonna drag through that long install process with y'all. I'm just trying to look at. Trying to see what they asked for. And it's crazy because this is all stuff that you can, like, it was a weird request, but you know what? Like I said, I'm all for helping people, and they were like, "Hey, could you could you set this up for me and send me over this this image? So I was like, sure, why not? Is it cleaner to do it from Git clone? I don't know. Like I said, I just maybe because they didn't put it in the app repository until the App Store until a couple of years ago. So by that point, I was already accustomed to doing Git sec lists from GitHub. So now if you hit ls, oh geez, cannot open the directory. Really? So if I sudo ls, really? Okay. So and then if I cd into oh come on. Let's do this. So you see, I just jumped back into my other user because I wasn't about to do sudo for everything. So all right, so now we have our fuzzing folder, payloads, usernames, contributors. Okay, discovery. So now what I'll do is word list. It should be in user/bin/word list. Oh come on, no, not user bin, user share. Wordless. What? ls user share. Really? Oh, I did that wrong. Sorry. Something about doing stuff live that always makes it feel whatever. Okay, so now we have our word list here. So now what I typically like to do is I'll take this folder, this sec list folder. So what I usually did with the Git, when I usually Git clone it, I'll Git clone it and tell it to clone this folder into the word list location. But since I could not remember at that time, I'm gonna go ahead and move sec lists into the user share word list. Right, so now if you look here, it has magically disappeared, but if you go into ls, our sec list folder is there with all those same files. So now we have that. Again, I just like to keep my stuff, keep it organized. Prepackaged word lists are reliable. You can JM, and then you can also add your own. There are some really, really good ones out there, but they are also really large files. But yes, and then again, you can just add to it. Like I use sec lists for a lot of them. They are constantly updating the word list, especially as when the new password lists come out. So obviously, people are scraping the internet to see what passwords are the most common passwords. So those are constantly getting updated. Directories are constantly getting updated as we move into things with APIs. API directories are getting updated. So these are all things that constantly get updated. Let's see. Clear. Okay, so there. All right, so those are there. All right. What else am I looking for? Really? So OpenVAS is there, but it's probably an older version. And then I think we should be good. Now, just to be on the safe side, we are going to do, let's see, ifconfig. Cool. So now we're going to run net discover -r 10.0. Come on, 10.0.2.0/24. Oh. Okay, let's see. I think I just saw another question. Are the pre-packaged wireless? We saw that. Are we going to be able to come back to this video? At some point, the video will be on demand. It should be shortly after I'm done with this on YouTube, since we are right here on YouTube. Again, I'm not streaming on Twitch right now. How do you keep up to date in the tech field? Google, Twitter, LinkedIn, sometimes social media. As far as new skills or new techniques, same thing. Honestly, I'm constantly looking at new things. I actually have not. So full disclosure, I actually have not been testing or doing anything like that in a while. I needed like a mental break. So it's almost like regaining that muscle memory. And so if you like, I miss working in the tech field. No, like I said, you can definitely miss it. Like I said, I was talking about it yesterday. My last job really kind of ruined hacking and pen testing for me for a while. So, oh jeez. So I took a much needed break, especially when you're pen testing. I might get a little preview or something. Especially when you're testing back to back. It definitely takes a toll on you. I'm fat fingering. Yeah, so when I was just burned out. And now, like I said, I'm trying to get to the point where I can enjoy it again. And I actually, like I said, I'm my goal is to not have to go back to the corporate and consulting side of pen testing. Like I love being a hacker. I hate working in InfoSec. So like if I could do something where I'm doing, kind of the stuff where I do what I do on the side with bug bounties or some little consulting gigs or freelancing, I'll stay there. One of my goals is to kind of get to that point where I'm making enough supplemental income for that, where that's my hacking career on top of teaching. Because like I said, whatever, like I was mentioning yesterday, wherever I land next, teaching and training and mentorship has to be a part of it. And I want teaching, training, and mentorship to be more of the job than the actual going out and doing the pen test puppy mill, as they so like to call it. So that's my goal. I'm trying to get to a point where I don't have to apply for jobs. I mean, you'll still have to apply for jobs. You just won't have to kind of go through the rigorous interview process, right? Once you have your skills established and they know that you can, put your hands on the keyboard and you can do the work, you won't have to worry about it. So like, I mean, I get calls and they'll say, hey, I'm sure everybody gets the messages on LinkedIn. And yes, I will say the interviews are a tad bit different than it was like 5, 6, 7 years ago for me. I remember I applied for a job at I won't say the name of the company, but it was an airline, and I remember they interviewed me for like 45 minutes, and it was like a panel interview, but they were like just back to back. And after that, they said, okay, I think you're good for the next step. So I'm thinking we're going to schedule the next step. And they made me go into another room. They sat me at a computer, and they said, get root and deface the website. Ready, go. And I started going, and as I'm going, they're asking me questions. So while I'm going through my process of, fuzzing and whatever, they're starting to ask me questions like, oh, well, what Nmap flag would you want to use if you wanted to look at the operating system? And so it was like you're quizzing me while you actually have me doing a hands-on thing. That was that was one of the ones that really frustrated me. I mean, I did it, and I ended up actually getting offered the job, but the money wasn't worth it, if you could believe it. Let's see. I don't get hit up often for anything. Once you start getting the hands-on skills, and again, for what I tell people is, especially when you start gathering the skill set, post online, create videos just like I'm doing right here. Get it out there. Like I said, LinkedIn is a good resource. I know people kind of look at LinkedIn differently, but LinkedIn's a good resource. Twitter was a good resource. Now I don't know what's going on. Thanks, Elon. Let's see. I'm wrestling getting into a cybersecurity role. I think I might have to double back and pick up the skills or just grab them in forward motion. I want a pen test, but I feel that before I get a pen test, I'll be too old. Spinning plates, no thanks. Yeah, exactly. Ty, again, I think it's just a matter of getting comfortable with your skill set and being able to be confident with your skill set. And it's almost like having a swagger to you. So if you go into an interview where you're uncertain or you're not sure of yourself, they're gonna pick up on that. But if you, and again, I think one of the issues, I actually found you on LinkedIn, but Indeed is getting out of hand on there. Yep. But yeah, if you, but back to what I was saying, I think what happens is, and this is part of the reason why I really like teaching it, because I feel like I know it might be a self-plugging or shameless plug or whatever, but I think what sets me apart from some of the other instructors that I know and have a ton of respect for is that when they teach it, they're still teaching it with this aura around it. They're still teaching it in a way that still makes it intimidating. My goal is to essentially break the ice and demystify the aura that is cybersecurity. Because if you can start looking at things from a standpoint of, oh my gosh, it was a sophisticated cyber attack, but you look at it and go, and then you talk to someone like me, and I'm like, dude, they sent a phishing link and someone clicked the email. That's how they got their initial foothold. That's what I feel like I do best. I try to make sure that, people understand what it is that they're looking at. The people understand what it is, because again, if you go into a class, like for example, if I sat here now and I'm like, all right, so we're gonna bring up Kali, and Kali Linux is a distribution or a Linux flavor, and you go into this and some people, their eyes get glazed over and they're like, nah, I'm not following. Their imposter syndrome kicks in. Whereas if you're just kind of talking, again, I'm not afraid to be like, man, I don't know that answer. I mean, let me look. Or, man, let me go reference this. Because that's the other thing about it. A lot of people walk around here like they're big brains and they know everything there is to know about cybersecurity. And honestly, half the battle is Googling it. You're not going to remember every Linux command. You're not going to remember every Nmap flag. You're going to remember the ones that you use the most. So, again, I think that's what also makes me stand apart, is because I try to be honest with the people. Does that always resonate? No, because sometimes people are looking for those quote unquote experts and they want them to look they want them to look and feel the part, and I'm far from an expert. I'm not a guru. I'm not I'm not a know-it-all. Like I said, I haven't touched a CTF in quite some time, and I haven't done a pen test since the summer. Now, before that, I was pen testing for 7 months straight, but things happen. Life gets in the way. I have a whole other business that I'm running, so I don't have the time. I watch a few folks like John Hammond, IPSEC, Siren, and yeah, John Hammond is great. IPSEC is awesome as well. Siren, I'm not very familiar with what they're doing, but GOAT. Nah, I would not consider myself to be the GOAT, Ty. John Hammond is awesome. Nahamsek, if you're into bug bounty stuff, he's awesome. Jason Haddix is amazing. IPSEC is great. Corey Ball, PhD Insider on the API side of things. BSD Bandit, Charles Scherer, he doesn't do a lot of hands-on stuff, but he is a vault of knowledge, and he's awesome. Shout out to my brother. Philip Wiley is amazing. Try and make sure. Rana Khalil, the stuff that she's doing with the web security academy stuff, she's amazing. Tanisha from Black Girls Hack, she's pretty dope. Ty Wilson, John Breath. I mean, he's not so much with the pen test, but the networking and cloud stuff. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of people that I would probably put over me. Maybe again, I'm just happy to be here, man. It's almost like there is no entry-level security roles, or the gatekeeping is at its highest. But just keep learning, as the gatekeepers will be eliminated eventually. I'm gonna agree with you halfway. Keep learning, keep getting the skills. The gatekeepers aren't going anywhere. But the goal is to get your skill set good enough where they can't do anything they can't do anything to kind of to gatekeep you. Again, I'm just being honest. Gatekeeping is at an all-time high. The push for DEI and all of those initiatives from 2020 and 2021, it made a lot of people pretend to be something that they like. It made them pretend to not be gatekeepers, but then after a while, they got angry with not being able to be gatekeepers anymore. And now we're back to normal, and they're back with a vengeance. That's just my opinion. You shouldn't want everyone and everything. I don't think gatekeeping is all that bad to some degree. No, I don't think gatekeeping is all that bad to some degree, to a certain degree. Where gatekeeping is wrong is when you're holding people back who deserve to be there because of whatever your biases are. If they don't have the skill set, like we were talking about yesterday, you had people in the last few years who were applying to jobs that did not qualify, but they needed people so bad during the pandemic that they were just hiring people off the street and they weren't doing their due diligence. Should those people be gate kept? Probably. The ones who really aren't doing the work. Yeah, absolutely. Do what you got to do until you get the skill set to be there. And then to going back to what we were to your point, Ty. It's just about learning what you need to learn. I think, again, when dealing with pen testing or dealing with stuff like that, people get lost and feeling like they need to know everything. You just need to know enough to get your foot in the door, and then when you get your foot in the door, now you're starting to learn more. Like, for example, I didn't know much about web app pen testing when I started web app pen testing. I knew how to get through Burp Suite. I knew how to do some basic stuff, but I did not know, the inner workings of it. I literally learned how to do a cross-site request forgery attack on the job. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I literally learned how to do it on the fly. Like, I had, shout out to Cliff Hewling. Cliff Hewling is amazing, but he essentially taught me how to do web app attacks, and he taught me how to proxy everything on Burp Suite and see what's going on and understand the commands, and he taught me how to navigate through what eventually would be a cross-site request forgery vulnerability, and how to set that up. He told me what to look for. He told me how to double check and make sure that if they had a anti-CSRF token or whatever available. He taught me all of that on the fly. Right? But I knew the basics. I already knew the basics to kind of move and navigate through that. So as I navigated, so I just built off of what I knew. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, companies aren't promoting from within, so they have no entry level roles. They only have mid to senior level, what makes it harder to get in. Yep, I'll agree with that as well, and I'll say, and then there used to be entry level roles. I think the problem was there was a disconnect as to what people were looking for in an entry level role from the job standpoint, and then from the potential or the applicant standpoint, what they felt they wanted for an entry level. So you had, hey, what's going on, CW InfoSec? So what you had was there was a disconnect. You had entry level roles, but they wanted too much. And then you had people who were looking for entry level roles and they wanted too much, meaning the companies were paying too little. And both are right and both are wrong, right? So for example, you shouldn't be asking for an entry level role, but then telling people that they should have, 5 years of experience of something, or they should have their CISSP for entry level. But on the flip side, you are looking for an entry level role, and if you don't have any transferable skills or any type of experience, you should not be asking for like $120,000 for your first job out the gate. So that was one of the issues. And then what ended up happening is they started just kind of shifting people over. They were like, oh, I need an entry level pen tester. Okay, we're gonna give you somebody from the SOC. All right, that's cool, but I need a pen tester. So there was a lot of shifting and moving around and musical chairs and stuff like that. And again, at the end of the day, it's just all about saving a buck or whatever that they felt they could save. And it was like, in the end, is it worth it? Because now you have people who probably don't want to be there. You have people who really aren't qualified to be there or what have you. And now you just have a disgruntled employee. So it really just depends. It really just depends. So like I said, it's a messy. It's a mess all over the place. Like I said, like 2020, 2021 was a wild time. Actually, I'll even say before that, it just really blew up it really blew up in 2020, 2021 because we were all at home and now everybody was starting to pay attention to it. So that's kind of how that came to be. Let's see. So I think we should be about done. Like I said, now I'm just kind of playing around with it and making sure that stuff is stuffing. But I think we're good. We should be good. So again, I'm doing an intro to ethical hacking workshop this Saturday. As I'm getting back into the pen testing CTF stuff, I'll be putting out more content. Like I said, I'm super excited for what I'm trying to do next. Like I said, I want to kind of jump into the world of learning these skills and not looking at a job as the priority, right? Because there are so many jobs that you can get in pen testing without actually having to be a pen tester for a corporate team if you have the skill set to do it. The thing is, with those jobs, you have to have the skill set. So, for example, if you want to be a SYNAC tester, you're going to have to kind of go through their process of proving yourself. If you want to work for Cobalt, where you're a freelance pen tester and you're getting paid per pen test you work on, you're going to have to show those skills. So what I want to do is I want to work on teaching the skills and maybe helping you get the certifications along the way, but focusing so much on the hands-on skills that you could probably land a freelance gig or even move into pen testing. So let's see. I'm happy with $65K to start. No, Ty, you might be lowballing yourself. I mean, you honestly, you could probably get an entry level pen testing gig at probably 75. You could definitely get an entry level. If CW InfoSec is in here, he could speak to it. You could probably get you a decent entry level pen testing gig at 75, maybe even 80, 85. Will the workshop? No, the workshop will not be on YouTube or Twitch. We will be doing it on Zoom. So if you paid for the class, we're doing it in person and we're also doing it on Zoom. I probably will record the Zoom session. I have not decided yet, just because I don't want people to then run around and, whatever, because people steal people's stuff and sell it for themselves. Don't take anything less than 90 for entry level. So there you go. We'll link up at some point, Ricky. But like I said, so there you go. Don't take anything less than 90 for entry level. The man said it himself right there. But yeah, like I said, 65K. Yeah, they're gonna get away with a steal, and trust me, you're gonna find yourself burnt out real quick. Back to the drawing board, asking for a raise, especially with a pen testing role. You ain't taking no pen testing role for no 65K. Honestly, you could probably do, and I don't want to knock any other roles, but I'm thinking 75, 80K for something like entry level SOC stuff. And then you could probably, and then to CW InfoSec's point, 90 pen testing. But like I said, I'm truly done with, or I want to be done, because somebody might throw a bag at me and I might have to take it. But what my goal is, like I said, I want to do the freelance stuff, and this way I can just kind of pen test on my own terms. Like I said, love being a hacker, hate being in InfoSec right about now. So I'm just gonna, I got 1 foot in and 1 foot out the door. I'm doing the teaching stuff, which I am thoroughly enjoying. I gotta, work at it so this way I can do it more often, so I can, pay some bills with it. But then I want to be able to still keep my skills sharp, or, bring in some supplemental income with with doing some of the pen testing stuff on the side. So I'll probably be talking to a lot of these companies that I just mentioned, you know, in the very near future. So Synack, Cobalt, not Cobalt. Yeah, no, Cobalt. Yeah, Synack, Cobalt. Probably do some bug bounty stuff. See if there's some freelance API hacking. Pen tester does not equal hacker. Yep. Getting the bag is always the mission. Yep, getting the bag is always the mission, but making sure keeping the bag is the key. Because right about now, you can, well, they locked that down after these layoffs and stuff. But like I said, for the last few years, everybody was getting the bag. Everybody was getting the bag, but they couldn't keep the bag. 6 months to a year later, they were losing the bag. And then because they didn't do what they were supposed to do, they lost the bag, and now they can't get back to the bag. So getting the bag is awesome. Keeping the bag is important. And then what you do with the bag that's the gem right there. Because a lot of people, they get that money and it's literally life-changing overnight, and they go ahead and, you know, they want to go buy a new car, or they want to whatever, they want to splurge a little bit, and that's fine. But then you start doing stuff and it's like a lifestyle creep, so now you're ending up, you done ran up credit cards and all this other stuff, and now you're back to square one. Yep, people working 2 jobs, running their mouth and getting fired. Yep. If you are presenting the clients, helping through mediation and the research, and yep. No, he's spot on. Man, like I said, Ty, I think you have the skill set. You just got to get out your own head, man. Get out your own way. Trust me, the stuff that I got going on in the near future, after this workshop, we gonna get y'all right. All right, so I'm gonna get up out of here because it's almost closing time. I will be back on tomorrow doing my haiku stream. So if you aren't familiar with that, I am a partner with Haiku, which is a training platform that is a video game. And every week I do a stage. I do a couple of the missions as I go through the story. So I'll be back on tomorrow with that. I should have a lot of things going on tomorrow at the center from an esports standpoint. So I'll probably be on earlier in the day because I have to get ready, especially for the after school stuff, because I got some high school esports teams coming in for some competitions. And then I actually have a video game developer from one of the popular games. I won't say which one because I don't want to spoil it and put it out there, and then he don't show up and I look like a liar. But he should be stopping by. And then Thursday I have Lord Valak. He is a Twitch partner, and he was also a pro Overwatch player. He'll be streaming out of the center on Thursday. He will be streaming Overwatch, and he's playing Diablo 4 with the new season of Diablo. So he'll be here Thursday, and then Friday, I don't think I have anything going on Friday, and then Saturday I have my esports stuff in the morning, and then I have the intro to ethical hacking workshop in the afternoon. One more time, I just put it in the chat for the link if you're interested. Like I said, if you are in the area, you can join us in person. If not, you can also join us via Zoom. Again, if you're going to join us in person, please bring a laptop. So this way you can walk out and you have your lab and all of your stuff set up that way. All right, y'all. So y'all be safe. Like I said, I'll be back on tomorrow afternoon doing the haiku stream. So while I'm doing the haiku stream, you can check that out. And if you're interested, you can also get a copy or get a membership. What I really like about haiku, and it's not I'm not trying to plug it, but what I like about what Haiku is doing is, as you learn the skills, especially only if you sign up for the pro license. If you get the pro license with Haiku, as you go through the game and you pick up new skills, you get these badges. And as you get the badges, hold on. As you get the badges, it updates your LinkedIn profile. So now your prospective employers get to see what skills you have, and like I said, Haiku Pro updates that for you, and it puts you, and it literally shows you the path that you're working towards from offensive security or defensive or whatever, and they're constantly updating it. So that's what I really like about Haiku. And then I like the fact that they made a little game with the story, and so now you're learning Linux skills, you're learning some basic pen tester skills, some cybersecurity stuff, and you're learning it while going through the game. So this way it kind of keeps it entertaining. That's very helpful, especially what I'm doing with a lot of the youth mentoring programs that I got going on. So I'll be doing that tomorrow, and then I think after that I think all my obligations will be done from then, so I can actually probably get some video games in. I'm gonna check out that Star Citizen game too, man. That looks real cool. So y'all be safe. Y'all enjoy the rest of your night. I know it is the NBA is back tonight, so I'm trying to get home, grab some dinner, sit down and watch a couple of the games. I think, what is it, Lakers and Nuggets tonight. So I'm gonna check that out and kind of hang out with the family and enjoy some basketball before I take my behind to bed. But y'all go ahead and y'all be safe. I will talk to y'all tomorrow. All right, y'all. Where we at? I gotta make sure I do this.